Alright, one last video. I ditched the Santa hat because I'm done with that. Kind of. Maybe. I don't know. I'm still feeling festive. I'm just not ambitious enough to put the hat on and make it look good. So, one more nip. Thanks again, Tasha, for the nips in my stocking earlier in the season before actual Christmas. This is Jim Beam Honey. Now, personally, I have a slight vendetta against Jim Beam, and I am unofficially boycotting them. I say unofficial because I have standards, but they only go as far as my wallet. Jim Beam of America purchased a small distillery in the state of Maine called White Rock Distillery. The big reason they picked them up is so that they could get the Pinnacle vodka brands. Yes, a distillery that made Pinnacle vodka, all those different flavored vodkas, whatever, you know, put fruit in it, put whipped cream flavor, chocolate flavor, gummy bear vodka, all that stuff. Yeah, I'm just sure you got a great story about gummy bear vodka. You should tell it sometime. Anyway, all those flavored vodkas. Jim Beam bought White Rock Distillery in Maine to get the Pinnacle brands. And they took very, very good care of the people who were working for White Rock at the time. They brought them on board. And I know this because I interviewed for a job there at the time. They kept their base pay the same, gave them better pay, gave them better benefits, made them, quote unquote, part of the Jim Beam family. And this even included being part of the Jim Beam ambassador program, which meant you got a couple of free bottles of booze every month, as long as it was one of the Jim Beam brands or imports. By the way, Jim Beam of America being the sole importer of Lefroy Scotch whiskey, the nice Islay whiskey. Oh my God, my favorite. Thank you, Hugh F., for introducing me to that stuff, and Melissa F. for being the proxy that did so. My brother-in-law, a true Scotsman. If you buy into the whole true Scotsman thing and the whole no true Scotsman, whatever. I'm not going to get political. Anyway, guy from Scotland turned me on to that. Anyway, Jim Beam is the sole importer of Lefroy, which I love. So, that brings me to the point I was originally making. I unofficially boycott Jim Beam brands. I don't consciously spend money on them. I don't directly spend money on them. Maybe directly is a better word than consciously, because I'm always aware of where my money goes. Well, not always aware of where my money goes, but when it comes to Jim Beam, I'm pretty aware of where it goes. I buy Lefroy. I buy other stuff that Jim Beam imports, and I know that my money is going in their pocket, at least a part of it. I buy Pinnacle vodka. Even after Jim Beam of America brought all these people from White Rock Distillery on board, made them part of the family, and then closed the fucking place down and laid them all off. Over 200 Mainers lost their fucking jobs because they were given the choice to either move or get laid off because Jim Beam wanted the Pinnacle brands. Fuck you, Jim Beam. But not completely, because I still buy your shit. See? When I get a good coupon for Pinnacle brands. I bought it, by the way. I'll put the link down in the description of the video, but I bought it. Typically offers $2 to $3 back on a 750 ml bottle of Pinnacle vodka, so I can go buy Pinnacle Raspberry, Pinnacle Red Berry, which is strawberry, Pinnacle Blueberry, Pinnacle Whipped, Pinnacle blah, 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 whatever fucking flavor of Pinnacle is on sale at my local grocery store, Hannaford, for $9.99. I buy it, it registers with Ibotta, and I get $2 back into my Ibotta account. Once I hit $20, I can cash it out to PayPal for $20 payout. Anyway, so like I said, I'll put the link down in the comments in the description of the video, but you should check out Ibotta. My principles go as far as my checkbook or my wallet. $10 for flavored vodka minus the $2 kickback. That's an $8 bottle of vodka. I'm still going to buy it, which puts money in Jim Beam's pocket. Under the brand name that they directly fucked people over to acquire. I'm ashamed of myself every time I do it, but I still do it. I'm ashamed of myself every time I drink a Jim Beam labeled product, but I still do it. In this case, because this was free. In other cases, because it's cheap and economical. I ain't fucking rich. There are people who refuse to shop at Walmart because of their practices, their business practices. Guess what? I ain't making enough money that I can afford to just shop at Uncle Dean's all the time. So I'll still stick with the corporate people because it's better for my wallet. Holy shit, did we get way off in the weeds on this one, folks. I am sorry you tuned in for a fucking review of Jim Beam Honey whiskey. Well, hopefully you also note that there are several videos before this one that should set the tone for how fucking drunk I am. And you'll forgive me for my segue. If not, whatever. It is what it is. This is Jim Beam Honey in nip form. This will make 40 cents worth of nips that we'll put up on the counter over there. I can't read this shit because my eyes aren't that great and the lighting is slightly dim and the text is very small. So, Jim Beam Honey. I don't know if this is a whiskey with honey added. I don't know if this is a whiskey filtered through honeycomb. I don't fucking know how they get the honey in here. I don't care because it's Jim Beam and I'm drunk. So. Doesn't smell like Jim Beam. It's got a slightly sweet aroma to it. And I know this is not the same as putting it in a glass, letting it breathe, and actually getting the head of the whatever. But this is what we're doing with these, is drinking them straight out of the bottle. So there is a slightly sweet aroma to it. But nothing I can really put a... I guess it kind of smells like honey. In the case that anything sweet would smell like honey. It's got a texture like a regular whiskey. And up front, it just tastes like a nice, mild, pleasing, barrel-aged, toasty, roasty, corn-based whiskey. It's like corn liquor that's been in a toasted barrel for a little while. I think Jim Beam generally goes 8 years. 8 years is standard, I think, anyway. But it's just got that nice toasty, roasty, whiskey quality to it, but then it fades to a very sweet, distinctly honey flavor. It's a little thick. It's pretty sweet. It lingers on the palate as this nice, thick, sweet flavor. And when you lick your lips afterwards, you're getting a good hint of it. So up front, it's Jim Beam. In the finish, the aftertaste, and everything afterwards, it's definitely got a nice, sweet honey characteristic to it. It's like Honey Nut Cheerios in whiskey form. It's good. I hate saying that because of all the stuff I said about Jim Beam earlier. I hate paying respect to them, but they make a good whiskey. They have been making a good whiskey for generations, and you can't take that away from them. Just like big beer. Budweiser, fuck them. They make a shitty beer, but they make it consistently shitty. Their business practices are another matter altogether. But you gotta respect them for making the same product the same way all the time and having that consistency. Jim Beam, it's good whiskey. It really is. It ain't on the level of Jack Daniels because of the charcoal mellowing. It gives it more character and flavor. But Jim Beam is just a very solid whiskey. A whiskey flavored whiskey. Whiskey. I keep saying whiskey. But Jim Beam honey, it's everything that you would like about Jim Beam whiskey. Plus a nice, sweet, pleasing honey flavor. So there you have it. And I think we are at the end of these videos because honestly, I'm out of shit to try that's different. And we're just gonna dip into the liquor cabinet or beer cellar. Anyway, folks, if you got anything to say about the Jim Beam honey or anything else I've reviewed tonight or whenever, hit me up down below in the comments or the email link. Let's talk. Love to hear what you have to say. Even if you disagree with me, still want to hear from you. Because taste is subjective. We'll disagree from time to time, and that's okay. I'll tell you why I disagree with you. I won't be a dick about it. I won't tell you you're wrong. I'll just tell you I disagree with you. While you're down there, don't forget to like and share the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Pretty sure I slurred that pretty fucking badly the first time around. I probably still am. It just sounds better to me. But till next time, thanks for tuning in. Merry fucking Christmas. And cheers.